How you doing, y'all? Welcome to Confidence. I'm going to be honest with you guys. No plan today. I don't even really know what I'm feeling or thinking. To keep it real. I took a shower before this, meditated. You guys know me. I'm a meditator. But actually, the recent way I've been meditating is different than just I would say prototypical meditation. So, I've been talking a lot on this podcast about, feeling your feelings and getting to the root of yourself, because that's what really happens for a lot of people. And even me, what I've learned is that you're so focused on the other person, what's going on external to you, the goals that you have, the things that you feel like you need to do, you lose sight of the only thing that really fucking matters, which is how you feel in this moment. That's it. You don't control anything else. You don't control the future. You don't control the numbers. You don't control the person you're dating. And ultimately, what we really need to do is live from that place of understanding what it is that we feel right now, and that is authenticity. That is showing up genuine, not from a place of fear of what's going to happen. Oh, but if I say this, how are they going to react? You're outcome focused. You're thinking way too much. Damn, I just went in. I said I had nothing to say. I had no plan. I guess I did have some shit to say, huh? Yeah, where did all that come from? I think it just came from, I was talking about the meditation. And, instead of meditating, and I think some people, it's it's a good practice to just decompress. For some people, it's you want to get really, I guess it's getting really present. But the way that I've learned to now meditate is different than the way I used to. And now what I do is, all I'm trying to do is feel. That's it. There's no other thing or objective of my meditation, which is I sit down wherever I'm at. Today just happened to be the shower. It was nice. Honestly, I don't know what it is, but I like the hot water. I'm not going to make this a little steamy for you. Letting that hot water hit me, I'm feeling good. My hamstrings hurt. So, it's nice just sitting in there. But, it's very hard to calm down your mind. And that's what happens. And here's the thing too. I help a lot of people with this. I would say every single one of my coachees, every single one, I would say the biggest hurdle that they have is they, again, are just so far in their head and they are just completely not in tune with how they feel. And that's where they make decisions from. They make decisions from their head. And it's very much so kind of like me, right? Where, on the last few podcasts, even in this past relationship with this girl, where there's many times where I'm overthinking. And I'm even, when I come on here sometimes, I'm over analyzing myself, right? Did I make the right move? Did I do the right thing? Oh, but she's this. Oh, but she's this. Oh, but do I find her attractive? Oh, but is she a gym girl? Does she go, But what do I really need to do, right? And this is for anybody. And, again, even my coachees, I tell them all the time, take a second, stop what you're doing, stop thinking, and get into your body. And what does that mean for me? It means for me, when I get into a meditation, it doesn't necessarily even need to be a meditation. You can literally just ask yourself, how do I feel? And then bring awareness to your body. But again, a meditation makes it easier because you're cutting off the scent, not the scent. What do you call the senses? You cut off your eye. Well, you don't cut them off, but you close your eyes so the sight is gone, right? So the stimuli that you're getting from sight is gone. So it makes it easier to feel. See what I'm saying? And it's even better too honestly, for me, I wear sometimes my headphones and I'll do noise canceling. If you can get rid of sound and rid of sight, it makes it much easier to feel. Right? So, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to get into our body. What do we feel about the thing? What do we feel about the situation? There's so many things that your body is telling you all the answers that you need to know. But again, you're not paying attention. So for instance, I sat down and I just asked myself, what do I feel? And what I do is I bring my awareness to my body. For me, I feel all my feelings in my stomach, all of them. I don't know what it is, but that's the place. When I feel, to me, the place that you want to feel for is the place that you get the most anxiety. For some coachees, I hear a lot, it's their chest. For some coachees, I hear a lot, it's their stomach. Me, it's my stomach. For some people, and for me, what's interesting is like during the day, sometimes when I'm moving very quickly, I'll notice that a lot of my tension or my pressure is actually in my traps or my shoulders or the back of my arms. I know, very strange. But if I allow myself to feel those places, I kind of get answers that I need. And again, it makes it very simple. So let me give you an example from my coachees. Oh, and just to wrap up my little, thing when I was like, meditating today, I was like, all right, what do I want to do? And I felt in my body and I was like, I'm feeling a little bit of discomfort, just a little bit of fear around recording the podcast. I usually do, actually. It's like, I know that I want to do it, but sometimes I actually feel this like resistance towards it. So this is what I also tell people too, is like, sometimes you're trying to figure out what you want to do. For instance, I had a coachee that she got invited to this party and she didn't know whether or not she wanted to go because I think it was like, I don't know, the theme of the party was like lingerie. So part of her is like, hey, do I even want to go to something like this? Like, do I want to be in lingerie? Or is it really about the fear of me and my own body being in lingerie and exposing myself? So there's a lot of times where we have these complex decisions, but what I always tell people and what I'm learning for myself is do the thing that you're inspired to do, even if it makes you feel a little uncomfortable or scared. Those are the stuff that you should move towards. Now, if there's something that you are dreading, like it's dread, you feel it and there's just this deep amount of dread associated with it, then it's probably not the right choice. But a lot of the times, like I said, our ego and our thoughts and our overthinking can make us really question ourselves in terms of what we want to do, right? And again, when I say ego, honestly, what I want you to do is I want you to relate that to you feeling this almost inadvertent pressure to be somebody you're not, or to fit in with the crowd, or you're scared of the way that somebody else or something external to you is going to react. When you were an ego, you were thinking about the external. You're not thinking about the internal of what you want to do. I'll give you an example, and this is a very, strange one, but it can be something as small as this. Like, think about when you were a kid and, I don't know, let's say you had this fucking urge to just run into your backyard and build a fort, or I don't fucking know, do something crazy. You know what I'm saying? Climb the fence, jump over the fence. And something inside of you is just like telling you to do it. You're just like, I want to do this shit. And then mom comes around and is like, don't run outside. Get off that fence. You know what I'm saying? Stop doing what you're doing. And the problem is what ends up happening is what? Is we create these rules for how we think we should behave rather than following what we genuinely know we're inspired to do. Think about the girl or the guy that's like heavily religious growing up, right? Like their parents are such sticklers, they're so strict, right? And then what happens? She goes to fucking college and all of a sudden the parents aren't there and now it's like, whoa, I get to fuck now? You know what I mean? It's like, whoa, this brand new world just gets like unlocked because the whole time you were made to feel guilty for doing things that you were inspired to do. To be honest, I really do not believe in rules. I believe in law and order. There's consequences to our actions. Don't get me wrong. There really is. But what I guess I'm trying to tell you is the most important guide for you to follow is whatever your body and your inner feelings are telling you. Point blank. I'm so serious. It's telling you everything that you need to know. And this is the biggest lesson I feel like I learned about being, this anxious, avoidant person, this scared, insecure individual. Everything that I've ever done my entire life, like up until this point, it really has been so outcome focused. I keep feeling like if I just become successful, then the inside will be satisfied. If I just find, for a lot of people, right? If I just find a relationship, I'll feel satisfied. I'll feel happy. That doesn't fill the emptiness that is inside you. It does not, because it's not about the result. Somewhere along the lines in all of our lives, and this is one of the biggest things, is we have went through some form of deep self-rejection. That's what has happened. For many of us, almost all, I would say, is like we have this deep self-rejection. It's always what other people want to do, right? Yes, there's some people, some of us that have some decent boundaries, but you don't even realize, you're probably just scratching the surface of who you truly are. Because who you truly are is exactly what it is that you feel. That is who you are. That is your truth. And like I said, a lot of us are disconnected from that. You know, little things, right? Big opportunities. For instance, I'll give you an example, right? Even in my own life, maybe there's been like a TV opportunity that has come along and like, you know, they want to like take over my social media, or, you know, they want me to like do this thing or use this script, right? Hey, can you come on our show? And I want you to say these things. In my body, I feel it. I'm like, you know, this would be a big opportunity. I might get some exposure, right? But what is my body telling me? Is this who I am? Is this authentically how I feel? Why am I taking this opportunity? Be honest with yourself. Is it really because it's like what I truly feel is right underneath? Or is it because I want you and the world to validate me? And like I said, a lot of us, that's what it is. And the reason that we need all of this external validation from success, from another person, from our friends, from our family, from all these people, is because we don't have that wholeness within ourselves. And like I said, I'm going to keep describing to you, I think wholeness within ourselves is being able to really be in touch and in tune with exactly how you feel and operating from that place. And fuck what anybody else thinks. But again, it's very hard to do that because we're so external focused. Everybody's in their head. Everybody's focused on their partner. Everybody's focused on their goals. Most people don't even realize why they're going after the goals that they want to go after. For instance, I'll take me. Chris, why do you want to be an internet personality? Be real. Just be honest. You know, if I'm going to be real, it was always like, I need or I want this success and validation of who I am. Because I felt if I got more famous or I had more money or I was more successful, I'd be more attractive. And if you really take that even deeper, what is that even deeper? The truth is that I reject myself so fucking hard that I feel the need to have other people tell me how magnificent I really am. And it's funny because I sit up here and for a long time, again, I'm not a bad person. I'm just like you. I'm just like anybody else, right? I am. But I didn't realize how much I've rejected myself. I didn't realize how much I've been going in opposition of what I truly felt. I mean, think of any situation where you meet a new person and they're really attractive, right? You think they're hot. So what do? Without even noticing it, you throw them on a pedestal, right? They're being a little dismissive towards you. And just, you know, all of a sudden you start to change who you are. Oh man, maybe I shouldn't text them that often because I don't want to seem too needy. Oh man, maybe I shouldn't pick up the phone and call them because that's a little too much. I don't want to be too much. What happens? You play the game. We all do it. You play the game, you have the strategy because you don't feel like what you are, who you are, what you feel is enough. And that's the thing is you're so caught up in the other person that you don't see how you feel when you're sitting next to them or when you're texting them. You know, I can't tell you the amount of clients that I have that are in a toxic relationship and you know, they have just so unaware of how the relationship makes them feel. They're so far in their head thinking that they are the problem that they have lost sight of the fact that if I asked them to sit down, I swear to God, I had a coachee, I stopped them on the call and we were like, all right, take a seat. And right, she's overthinking. She's like, I don't know what to do. I miss him, but he didn't treat me right. And I broke up with him. And like, I don't know. I just keep missing him every day. I miss him because like, oh my God, like the companionship, he like knew my favorite color. You know what I mean? It's like shit like that. It's like, oh, in the beginning, right? In the beginning, he cared so much. And then reasons why, it didn't work out. Oh, well, I couldn't tell him how I honestly felt. That was one. I don't trust him. That was two. And yeah, I don't believe that he has my best interest at heart, right? And what's funny is when I sit her down and we say, okay, she's thinking about but I don't really know. He said he was going to call me back and I can't really tell. Like, should I call him? Should I reach out to him? I don't really know what to do. Whoa, slow down. How do you feel about this person? And I want you to go to the tension in your body and I want you to slow down. And I want you to just tell me how you feel about this person. She's like, I feel like I don't trust him. It's crazy how most people's thoughts, right? All your overthinking comes down to a single feeling that you have underneath. It's wild. The truth of the matter is, in her body is telling you, hey, this person, you cannot trust his word. He's been inconsistent, right? And clearly your body knows, right? Because it feels very anxious. And she felt that way during the relationship itself. But what happens? You know what's interesting too? She said to me, one of the reasons that she missed him is because he made her feel like she mattered. I went in today on her on a voice note. Swear on my life. It's crazy. Because what essentially she just told to me is what? She doesn't feel underneath like she matters. Because guess what would happen? If she felt like she mattered, what would she do? She would feel her feelings and she would know that she matters and she would honor them. And that's what I'm trying to say. The answers are sometimes so simple, but we can't follow it because we don't see it. Because ego is telling us, we don't matter. This person makes me matter. Success makes me matter. Money makes me matter. This person's opinion makes me matter. You know what makes you matter is when you decide for yourself that you matter. That when you decide for yourself that your feelings matter. If she decided that she mattered, hey bro, I don't trust you. Your words have been inconsistent. You told me you were going to call me and you never did. That's honoring your feelings. Fuck all the overthinking. You're in your head. And that's what I'm saying. She sends me like 7 voice notes a day, 5 minutes long. All I got to do is stop her one time and say, how do you feel? Cut all the noise. Different example, right? Another coachee. So she obviously, she misses a guy that's like really avoidant, lives in another state. But anyways, she's like kind of worked her way out of it. And then she was, on her own. She's been happy and she's been dating, right? And she's met this new guy. Vibes were there at the beginning, but now it's gone a little too far. She's honestly felt a little avoidant towards him, right? He's showing up in a way that feels a little too much. He's going balls to the walls. Honestly, I think he's very insecure. And that's what she said, right? She's describing this guy as like needing a bunch of external validation. He doesn't get it on his own. He's constantly looking to her for validation of his worthiness. He always needs like constant attention and compliments, and he just cannot give it to himself. Long story short, she's feeling these things, right? We're having these conversations, and now they've hit this point where she is wanting space from him. But the problem is, now that they're a few months into the relationship, I think about a month or two, she feels so responsible for this person's feelings, right? So what happens? He asks to come over. She's like, all right, yeah, we could hang out, but you're going to stay in another room. Okay. Now they had been a little intimate, not gone all the way, but Now she's told him, hey, I just want to be friends right now because I need space. This isn't working for me right now, but maybe in the future. So now what's happening is we're getting on these calls. He's still being a lot, right? He's still wanting all this energy and attention from her. And what is she doing? She's turning around and complaining to me and saying, and not complaining, I don't want her to listen to this and get mad at me. You're not complaining. You're telling me your truth. But what it is she's telling me that she doesn't understand. Why doesn't he get it? She just needs more space. He doesn't understand. What is she doing? She's focusing so fucking hard on this guy that is not giving her space. I don't understand. Does he not understand space? Does he not understand just being friends? Told her to get in her body, right? We get on the call, get in her body. What does she turn around and tell me? He's a cool dude, but it's just not him right now. That's what she told me. I just feel like he is not my person right now. What happens? That's what I'm trying to say. All this friction that she is causing in her own life is because she is so absent away from her truth. What is her truth? This isn't it. But because we can't get to that feeling and we're in our head, we then allow things that we don't want to. She doesn't want this guy around as much as she does. She doesn't want this guy texting her as much as she does, but she feels like she's so responsible for him and she's so focused on him that she's lost sight of what she truly feels. And like I said, we cause our own anxiety. This is what I'm trying to say. If we felt that we mattered and we felt that we were whole, we would follow what we felt. It will not bring us to the wrong place. And I think that is the hard part. I gave you like the example of like as a kid, right? You're so excited to do something and your parents are telling you no, or whatever it is, somebody's rejecting you. That's the problem for most people, is that you have learned that. You have learned to reject yourself deeply. The truth is if you have inspiration to go talk to somebody, go do it. If you have the inspiration to phone call somebody and it's coming from a genuine place underneath, not from a place of in your head ego and fear, send it, do it. This is what we're trying to get to. The ultimate place, which to me is the ultimate level of self-trust, is that you can trust yourself to do as you feel at all times and you are not concerned about the outcome or the consequences. You do not control other people. You do not control the way that they show up. That's what I did not get in my last relationship and a bunch of my relationships before. I'm so avoidant, anxious avoidant, disconnected from my actual feelings that I could not see that, guess what? Her attributes didn't matter. Her attributes didn't matter. It wasn't that. The only question I had to ask myself was how I felt. And it's funny as fuck is because when I got down to the root, I'm telling you, I'm laying on the bed after we were struggling to have sex. I'm sitting there. I swear to God, I stopped myself in a moment of anxiety. And I asked myself, I closed my eyes in front of this girl. And I said, how do you feel, Chris? I got into my body and you know what my stomach told me? I like you, but I don't love you. Point blank, period. I could ruminate all I want. Oh, is she a gym girl? Am I attracted to her? Overthink the shit out of it. There's only one answer. I like you, but I don't love you. Take what you want with that information, because that's exactly what this relationship is. Point blank. And I couldn't recognize that. And I couldn't own that. It's hard to own that when you are attached to somebody. Because what is attachment? Attachment means I'm attached to the outcome of you. I care so much about the way that you feel that I cannot honor my own truth. But what ends up happening? I keep going down the relationship and then my eyes keep wandering. They keep looking at other girls thinking like, maybe... But I kind of want to talk to this other person. Why do I feel that way? Am I just an avoidant asshole? No, I'm just fucking disconnected as shit from my own feelings. I'm not an asshole. I'm not manipulative. I'm just like everybody else, living on the surface, living for the approval of everybody else. Completely non-authentic. It's fucking insane how I feel right now because I've never felt more real in my entire life. And now I interact with people and I see right through it so fucking clearly. It's crazy. It's insane. You could tell because you know what is real and what is fake. The example I just gave you about the girl, right, with this guy that's like trying to just be her friend who says, oh, I'm just cool with being your friend. Bro, you know listening to this, I know listening to this, that homie is not cool with just friends. But what do? He's trying to control the outcome, right? He has this fucking hope that my client is just going to turn around and love him. And my client is also playing a control game too, because she's not honoring the way that she feels. She wants to keep him at a distance, not too far, but not too close. But then she's complaining to me that he doesn't know about space. I'm like, it's not about him not knowing about space. It's about you not honoring your truth. That's the truth. And for my other client who's like, I just don't get it. Like, does he like me? Does he not like me? He's not calling me on the phone. Blah, blah, blah. What's your truth? You don't trust him. He's not trustworthy. It's not them. It's you guys not honoring your shit. So this is why, I came on the last podcast and I was telling you guys how like I felt crazy because I was being called like manipulative and shit. I'm like, you don't get it. You don't. And I understand why. There's no hatred towards you because you're like many people. You're focused on the other person. You're not focused on the way that you feel. You're disconnected from your own self. You're disconnected from what is that you feel, right? Because if the girl that I was talking to was connected to her feelings, what would she tell me? Hey, I actually like you and I deeply like you. I like you enough that I want and need commitment. Can you give me that, Chris? What would I have turned around and said? I like you, but I don't love you. Okay, then this isn't a good match. If me and her were so connected to our own feelings and being dead honest, that is how it would have went. But instead, what happens, just like in many of our relationships, the control games, the avoidance, the anxiety, trying to control the other person, trying to ask the other person, what did she do? Oh, well, I'll just keep waiting. And then guess what? When you don't choose me, I'm going to turn around and blame you for not choosing me. That's all my anxious folk. Seriously, y'all are wild. Because the funniest shit with anxious people is y'all will turn around and be like, those avoidants are just not healed. They just don't want a relationship. No, sweetheart. No. The truth is you don't own your truth of wanting a relationship yourself, and you can't walk away from anybody that doesn't want to give you one. Don't tell me that the avoidance not healed. You aren't either. I'm going in right now. But seriously, y'all need a fucking wake-up call. Just like I did. And again, that's what I'm trying to say. There's no judgment. Zero. None. Because everybody's on their own path to self-realization, to self-trust. And it takes a long time to stop rejecting yourself and stop rejecting your feelings. The first thing that I didn't even realize about myself was, again, how disconnected I was from my own feelings. So what the first step for everybody, right? If you're listening to this, the first step for you is to get more acquainted with how you're feeling in all situations. Ask yourself at all times of the day, right? Wait, when this podcast ends, for instance, I'm going to get off this podcast and I'm going to say, what do I feel? I feel like eating a healthy meal. Okay, I'm going to go do that. What do I feel like doing? I kind of want to go to the gym. All right, let's go to the gym. Guess what happens when you live from that place? Think about that. Is that pure self-satisfaction? Am I asking myself, hey, what is my audience going to think? What is my mom going to think? What is my spouse going to think? What is my partner going to think? No, I'm self-focused. I'm present. I'm honoring myself. And it's crazy because you could live with such a place of love from that place. because it's all good energy and it's all good vibes. Right? Like when you are in tune with yourself and you're doing the things that you want, think about the way I'd be at the gym. I'm at the gym because I want to be there. Wow. What a feeling, right? I'm on this podcast because I want to be here and I'm doing it because I love it. No one's telling me to do this. No one's forcing me to be here to talk to you right now. I'm doing it because I love it. And guess what? What's going to happen? That's the beauty. The hard part for most people is when you don't trust yourself and you've rejected yourself for so long, it's very difficult to see how your world can still be safe when you choose yourself constantly. Because we've always been at the whim of other people, right? Think about the people that, I don't want to call y'all out, but just real, that work a 9-to-5 job. The reason it's safe is because somebody else created that structure for you and you're relying on that structure to survive. But I would turn around and tell you, to be real, that there is a real version of you. And not to say that that's fake, but I think that there is a deeper version of you that knows what it wants to do on a day-to-day basis. For me, this is so natural and organic. Speaking to you, learning these things, developing myself, all real. That's why it's so fucking good. And I know it's good because I love it. My point is, everybody has something, right? Maybe for you it was trumpet. Who the fuck knows? My point is, if you did the thing that you loved every single day, eventually the world will repay you for that. Whether it's in money, whether it's in love. It's showing up genuine to your own feelings and your own self. And the best part is, because you love it, you will do it well. When I tell people I'm a dating coach, they're mind fucked. They're shocked. How many people do you interact with that are dating coaches? Rare, right? But it's because when I went on TikTok 5-6 years ago, whatever it is, when I was starting this, maybe a little longer, I just was saying what was true to me. And it resonated because it was real. And it just went. And that is the truth about careers, relationships. But again, what ends up happening? We get so focused on the other people, we don't trust ourselves, right? We don't trust that who we are, what we want is truly worthy. So we defer. And honestly, our egos are trying to protect us, and our egos are constantly being like, okay, but what is Sally going to think if I play trumpet every day? That's weird. What if my wife gets mad at me for playing trumpet every day, even though I know that I want to do it? And you know how many people live on that surface level of their, everybody. This is why people, maybe they're in relationships, but some of them are not happy. That's why these people that have all the money in the world, they're not happy, because all it was to try to prove to people that they are worthy. A lot of the stuff that people do, it has nothing to do with how they feel and has everything to do with how they're proving it to other people that they are whole. Most people's definition of happiness is based on if other people think that I am happy, not am I happy? It's mind-blowing. And what's crazy is when you live from that place of pure satisfaction, self-satisfaction, pure wholeness, people can feel the difference. The results will come. Let me give you an example from my relationship, and I was waiting to tell this story, but it's great. So you guys might have saw it on my Instagram or my TikTok, but I posted that story about me picking up this girl in public. And I picked up this girl, right? I was like, first off, here's what's great. Let's start off with everything that I'm talking about. So you guys know how I want to be an internet personality, right? So now I've pretty much let go of that, to be real. You know what I told myself? I'm just going to be happy doing whatever I want every single day, and I'm going to let life take care of itself. Seriously. So part of that initiative is I just live my life and do what I want at all times of the day. All times. And how do I know what I want? I ask myself how I feel, and I do exactly how I feel. So last week, randomly, I was sitting there and I was like, I kind of want to make a video, but I was like, I got no ideas. Normally I sit down, I ruminate, I fucking strategize for 4 hours. How do I make a video? I look on TikTok, I compare myself, feel like an asshole, whatever. So, instead of that, I said, what do I want to do? How do I feel? I said, I want to go buy some shirts. Cool. Get in my car, go to Urban, start walking. I see this girl sit down outside the coffee shop as I'm walking by to Urban. They're right next to each other. I'm like, damn, that girl's kind of cute. I was like, all right, cool. So I walk into Urban. What happens? Inspiration. Something tells me, Chris, go talk to that girl. You know, in my body right there, it felt it. I felt it. And this is what I'm talking about. Inspiration, right? Following those things that scare you. Do you think I was confident walking up to this fucking girl that I thought was fire? Fuck no. But you know, what I was telling myself is like, I should go talk to her. But then I was like, you know what? I came here to shop, and you know what? I'm going to let go of control. I'm going to do what I had to do, which is I'm going to look for a shirt. If I find one, buy one, cool. And if she's still there when I get out, great. I'll go talk to her, because that means life is telling me that this opportunity is meant for you. Cool. So I can't, you know, sit there, buy a shirt, walk out. She's still sitting down there. I was like, all right, well, here we go, right? I'm inspired. Let's do it. Walk by her. I said, hey, yo, I like your shoes. She was wearing the same ones as I was. She's like, oh, thank you. She's like, oh, nice. I was like, oh, do you want to see what I got? So I just started giving her a haul. I was like, yeah, I just bought this shirt in there, and yeah, this is what it is. I was like, do you want to come with me to go to Abercrombie to buy a shirt? I was going to go look for more. So I just invited this random stranger I've never seen in my entire life to come fucking go to the mall and shop with me. And she's like startled. So she's just like, I don't know. Like, I kind of have somewhere to go after this. So like, I don't know if I could do that. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, oh, like, you know, whatever. I started getting into a conversation. I was like, oh, do you mind if I sit down? Sit down with her. And yeah, we like talk for 20, 30 minutes. Tell her about my life. She tells me about hers. You know, I tell her what I do. I tell her, you know, we're talking about our shit. Like, I get into it immediately. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? This is the best when you know who you are, and you could own it and honor it. And again, when life is based on your feelings and it's not based on the way that anybody else perceives you, you can do whatever you want. Because, I mean, again, it's hard to build that, but long story short. I was like, yo, we should do something more formal. Let's go get some coffee. And she's like, oh, maybe. I was like, maybe? I was like, what? I was like, come on. I was like, give me your number. I was like, we'll see. So I was like, all right, cool. So as you guys know, I'm still anxious avoidant, right? So I get home later that night. You know, I go to the gym. I do my thing. And I'm walking around my living room. And I'm like, fuck, I really want to text this girl. But part of me is like, man, is that too soon? Like, why would I, you know what I'm saying? Isn't like the formal move to like give it a day. Like, I don't want to look too much. I don't want to look too needy. What's happening? Ego. What did I want to do? I was inspired to text her. I was underneath, but I was scared. Right. And this is the avoidance, right? Because what we're doing, we're avoiding vulnerability. We're avoiding the way that we feel. I know how I feel. I want to send a text. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I said, wow, still in shock that you wouldn't go to Abercrombie with a complete stranger. You know, that's pretty funny. So we started texting and talking, and I was like, all right, cool. She's like, oh, do you want to see what I got? I sent her a video of me putting it on, fucking around. And then she texted me, and then I texted her at night, and I was like, she's like, oh, you found that at Abercrombie? I was like, yeah. And then it was an hour later. I was about to go to bed. I was like, hey, it was nice meeting you today. I was like, if you're down, coffee next week, 12 o'clock. Like, you know, it was great meeting you. And yeah, I'm actually going to bed right now. So good night. That was it. Wake up the next day, no text. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, what am I going to do? Right? I shot my shot. I said what I had to say. I said what I felt I wanted to say, right? I wanted to go on a date. I wanted to plan something, right? From inspiration. I'm owning myself. Is it scary to do these things? Yeah, it is. It really is. Because I'm an avoidant and I'm scared of vulnerability. The biggest thing about avoidance is that you always want to be in control. You never want the other person to have the upper hand. That's the thing. So for me, right, what happens, and this is like I said, everybody, is like, you're so scared to be actually who you are because you're afraid of how that person's going to take it. Will they reject you? Will they not? Right? Because they essentially have that option, right? I'm essentially putting myself in uncomfortable situations in which I have no control. So I let it go and I'm like, all right, cool. Like, whatever, you know, she didn't answer me, but whatever. I'm going to let it rock, right? I still have her on Instagram. It's cool. next day, do my thing, have some fun. I'm just in my vibe. Like I said, I'm not paying attention to how she feels or trying to strategize to get her anymore because I'm in my own body. I don't care. Not that I don't care, but I'm present focused. I was in my Saturday. I was in my Sunday. I was doing things that I wanted to do. I go back into feeling on Sunday and I was like, something inside me is telling me that I want to call this girl. Like I want to create more of a connection with this person. I want to call her. You know what I was afraid of? I did a meditation. I was feeling. And one of the fears I wrote down was fear of not getting a call back. I was like, you know what? You know what that means, right? There's an action I'm inspired to do, but I'm afraid of taking. I got to do it. If I'm going to expand myself out of this box and own who I am, I have to start practicing. I can't be scared anymore, or I can be scared, but I need to expand. I need to honor myself. I can't think about how she's going to react. Again, what do? We're so focused on them that we lose sight of what we want, the relationship that we want. I want closeness. I want phone calls. I want to set up a plan. That's what I want. But now that I'm in tune and in touch, I do what I do. I give her a call on Sunday, which I was scared to do. I was scared because I didn't want to not get rejected. And guess what happens? She didn't answer. She didn't answer. I texted her and I said, hey, just wanted to hear how your day went. I hope you had a good weekend. Don't hear anything for the rest of the night. You know what's crazy is when I went to bed that night, like I owned it, but what was I feeling? Here's what's crazy. I woke up in the middle of the night twice. A simple phone call with a stranger that I met one time. That's how deep my anxious avoidance runs. That's how deep. I get scared, I get uncomfortable. And what happens? I'm rolling around at night. What happens? I'm getting overthinking thoughts. And this is why it's a great practice. And this is why it's so powerful. It's cool. So I'm overthinking, right? I wake up in the middle of the night. Oh, maybe she didn't like me because I wasn't tall enough. Maybe I did too much. Maybe I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking all these different scenarios. Maybe if I just did this and I stopped myself and I swear to God, I did this in the middle of my night. And I said, Chris, just feel. What do you feel? I stopped myself. I focus on my body, my stomach. I'm focusing my awareness. I'm focusing my awareness. I'm focusing my awareness. I'm focusing my awareness. I'm like, what do I feel? I feel disappointed that she didn't call me back. That was it. Again, what is the overthinking? All the thoughts on the top. I'm not cool enough. I'm not great enough. Maybe I should have fucking took a shit and she would have liked me more. Maybe I should have waited a day. What's the feeling? I'm just disappointed right now. Isn't that insane? Get to the root. Get to the root. So I got to the root and I said, and I just owned it. I felt it. I just allowed myself to feel it. And I kept repeating to myself, it's okay, Chris, you're just disappointed. And then I reminded myself, and this image came up for me that I thought was interesting. And here's what's funny is all of us are just living out our little child self. That's all it is. And what I saw in that moment, that fear, that feeling of disappointment, you know what image came up for me when I was just feeling? Just my younger version of myself wanting love and just feeling like nobody around me wanted to give it to me. I remember a vision of me being in my therapist's office, me feeling like I didn't want to be there when I was a little kid. My parents were in a nasty divorce from the ages of 1 to 8 years old. And then they were in court from 1 to 8 years old over money. I thought it was over custody. It was over money. So my parents were no contact and it was just messy, right? I was in court mandated therapy because of my parents' situation. And I just remember feeling I saw myself in that room being this doesn't feel right. It's all connected to this like little younger version of yourself, again, that has been rejected. And I told that little kid, I was like, it's cool. I was like, you're an adult now. And an adult can see the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is you could tell somebody that you care about them, but it doesn't mean they're your person. But it also doesn't mean that that's going to happen with every single girl. That's not true. And that's what we do, is we project all of our past bullshit onto the present. This is why all of us, when they said, oh, this previous relationship fucked me up. Yeah, it's because now you won't be yourself because you were so scared of getting the same outcome that you did when you were a 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old child, 11-year-old, 12-year-old, whatever age you were. We project that same feeling that we got onto the future. This is why it's so deeply ingrained in me. And I saw that image and I told that little version, I was like, nah, you're good. It's okay. You're an adult now. And you can recognize if somebody doesn't care about you, they're not going to pick up the phone and call. That's okay. Went back to bed. Woke up the next day. You know what? I let it go. I felt confident, weirdly. I was like, you know what? All right, she didn't call me back. She didn't hit me back. Like, it's not for me. It's cool. I get a text at 11:45. And she was like, hi, sorry. What'd she say? She said, hi, sorry. I didn't see you call. I don't know. I was doing the girl voice. She said, I'll do it in the girl voice. She said, hi, because that's how I read it. Hi, sorry. I didn't see you called. It was fun, although blank is hard. How was your weekend? So I turned around and what did I feel? In that moment, the way that I felt was like, you didn't confirm the date. You didn't call me back. You texted me back the next day. Like, if you don't want to be here, don't be here. But I'm not going to sit here and like bullshit text you and be like, my weekend was good. What would most people do? What would most of y'all do? Be honest. What would you do? I can guarantee you if I was asking any other man on the planet what they would do in this situation, what are the answers you think you'll get from friends, from family? Oh, ghost that girl. Maybe wait 7 hours and then text her back how your weekend was. Maybe wait 24 hours and text her back how your weekend was. What happens? Everybody's in the strategy. Everybody's in the game because you're so outcome focused. But you know what I did? I said, nah, that's not the way that I want to do things. So I'm going to take out her name when I play the voice notes. There might be a little bit of a pause, but this is the voice note I sent to her. And to show you guys the power of self-trust and self-belief.
My weekend was good. But more importantly, I invited you to go get coffee on Tuesday. And I understand you haven't confirmed that yet. Also, obviously I called you yesterday and then you're texting me back today. I understand that. We miss things. It's possible. But if I'm being really honest, it really does feel like, you're hesitant and you're keeping me at a distance. And that's okay, right? I understand that. I'm a stranger. You've never met me before. But it's hard for me to get to know you just over text. If this is the distance that we're going to stay at, then that's cool. But, you could just ghost me. That's okay, too. Don't worry about it, right? I'm a grown man. But, you seem like a really cool girl. And I would actually like to really get to know you. So, hey, my weekend was great. But to be honest, if I'm being real, yeah, I would actually like to take you to coffee tomorrow and see you and have a real conversation. Yeah, let me know what you think.
Told her my truth straight up. I didn't play games. I didn't beat around the bush. I didn't wait 10 hours. I told her how I felt. Yo, you haven't really been showing up. I feel this hesitation. Like, I'm interested in this. If you want to go to coffee, that's the only way I could really get to know you. I can't get to know you like this. That's just me being real. That's my feelings. My feelings are telling me that, Chris, you can't get to know this person like that. What did she do? Turned around. Well, I appreciate the honesty and the voice memo. Haha. So coffee tomorrow at your favorite coffee shop at noon? Offer still on the table, ? That's how it's fucking done. And here's the thing. I just want to preface something because this is also very important. It's not about the result. If she turned around and told me, hey, yeah, I'm just not that interested, or she turned around and didn't answer me, guess what? I would have had my answer. But I would have owned what I wanted. That's the thing that people don't realize, is we're so afraid of rejection that we don't own what the truth is that we have underneath. That's what's crazy. You're trying to make it work with a person who doesn't really like you that much, even though you know you want a deeper relationship and you're just too scared to own how you feel. And then you wonder why you don't even get what it is that you want. Is because you don't have that self-belief. For some reason, there is some part of you that has rejected your feelings yourself, that you do not feel worthy of who you are and what you feel. Again, did the risk pay off in this situation? Yes, I guess so, right? Again, I got the date. But also what would have, again, I told you, alternate. If she would have told me no, guess what would have happened though? I would have saved myself hella time. I wouldn't have had to keep reaching out and interacting with a person that doesn't care about me. And then I could actually meet my person. Do you see how owning yourself will always get you to where you want to go no matter what? Think about my coachee, the one that she can't trust the guy that she's talking to. The reality is she wants a secure, honest relationship. But she just can't own the way that she feels. She doesn't think that she matters. So this is why those types of people and most insecure people are in toxic relationships. It's not because of the other person. It's because you won't own how you really feel because you don't trust yourself. So this is the work. The work is, everybody talks about doing the work. What is the work? The work is feeling like you matter, feeling like you are whole, feeling what you are actually feeling and honoring that at all times and not being attached to the outcomes, not being attached to a relationship, not being attached to the way people view you. Just doing what you want to do on a daily basis and doing it so much and so well that guess what? All the things that you want in your life come to you naturally and organically. It doesn't mean that this person is going to be my person, but it does mean I'm one step closer to getting to my person. But it does mean that the relationship that I'm going to be in with this person is going to have to be the relationship that I want, or there's no point in being in it. And it's also going to mean for me, when I told you guys about the internet personality thing, right? Fuck that. Why do I even have that as a motivation to prove to people that I'm cool? To prove to people that I'm worth something? That I'm relevant? Because I can't see that in myself? If I thought that I was relevant and I chose myself, what would I do? I would just do what I want every single day. I wouldn't worry about how many views something got. And honestly, it's made me rethink my entire life almost, genuinely. Because what it really comes down to now is like, if I don't feel like making videos, then I'm chasing the wrong thing. Now, if I'm making videos from a really genuine, natural place and it's based off inspiration, that's because I'm meant to do it. But let's say the whole time I've been chasing this goal to prove to people that I'm worthy, and instead the whole time all I've wanted to do was draw. I should be drawing. Or let's say I wanted to write. I should be writing. I should be doing the things that I want to do, because eventually what would happen? Let's say I was really into drawing, and that's really what I was inspired to do every single day. Eventually, what's meant for me will be. I can guarantee you I could receive an income on anything that I love to do. That's a guarantee. Because not only would I do it, I would do it really fucking well. Kind of like this podcast. Like, let's be honest. I love this shit. I do it every single week. I edit it every single week without feeling like, oh my God, this is so hard. I hate doing this. Not true. Love it. Does it scare me sometimes? Yes. Do I have resistance to it sometimes? Yes. But genuinely, do I want to be here? And do I care? And do I want to develop myself? Yes, 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 yes. Go listen to another podcast. Seriously, go do it. Do it in this realm. The people that are genuinely inspired and love this shit, those are going to be the best podcasts. Point blank. Because that's the thing. How are you going to do something every single week of every single day for years and years and years if you don't actually love it? And there's a lot of people that do that. That's what's crazy. People literally live lives that they do not want to live every single day, every single week, because they feel they probably are so disconnected from the way that they feel, and they can't even realize what it is that they actually want and are living out just what other people think that they should be doing or what they think they quote unquote should be doing. And their shoulds come from a place of ego. Like people that are like, even for you, right? Like people that I'm coaching. Why do you want a relationship? What is the motivation? Is the motivation because you think it's going to make you happy? You're going in the wrong direction then. What you don't realize is that you have to be happy with you first. I mean, this is like cliche, right? 101. But again, look at all the things that you're doing in your life and ask yourself, what is the motivation behind me doing this? Am I doing this from a place of genuine inspiration and love? Or am I doing this from a place of, I think that this is going to give me inspiration and love? You see what I'm saying? There's a huge difference. Most people think that the external things are going to give them security, happiness, peace, and love. Security, happiness, peace, and love is inside. Is when you choose yourself. When you choose to feel what you feel and honor the fuck out of it. Somebody gave me a question. I'm just going to tackle it really quick because I thought it was good. I don't even know if I thought it was good. I just kind of liked it. She said, "Good morning, friend." I can't stand that. Okay. Can you believe it? I have my very first podcast question. Yay. Okay. From one trauma dumper to another, I have certain traumas that I've weighed in on enough that they've essentially become favorites for me as far as character development goes. I do see this a lot with a lot of people. So my question is, do you have one? And if so, which of your traumas do you think has done some of the most molding or shaping of present day Chris? You want my honest answer? The story that I feel like I hold on to the most is that I do not get chosen or picked or I'm not worthy because of my height. Point blank, period. Swear to God. It all comes down to that. I have this story inside my head that I play out every single time I'm disappointed by something, and I relate it to that. Genuinely. And to be honest, I have learned that confidence and self-worth has nothing to do with that. Has nothing to do with that. How I feel about myself is about honoring who I am. And honoring who I am doesn't mean just like, honor your height, Chris. Like, yeah, I guess that's part of it. But the true meaning of honoring myself is to stop rejecting myself at all, even beyond the height. It goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than my insecurities. Somewhere along the lines, I had just felt that what I felt almost didn't matter. And I would say the other stories that I hold on to is that people weren't around or there for me. Or I was in after school programs and I never knew when people would show up. And those things are true. They're true. But you have to grow out of those stories. And for a lot of the people that I work with too, that's the thing. You tell yourselves these stories and you hold on to them. And you don't realize that all it is building more and more self-rejection. You got to let go of all of that. You have to let go of all of that. And that's what unconditional self-love is. It's knowing that what you feel matters and what you look like on the outside doesn't matter, right? My success, I know that a lot of us hold on to that it matters. Like for instance, for a lot of guys, right? You have this idea that A woman only cares about you as much as you are successful. Oh, if I'm not successful or I don't have my money right, then she's not going to love me. But the crazy part is like, that's not the reason that you want to be loved in the first place. You want to be loved by somebody that genuinely sees you and understands you and loves you for who you are. And that's what's crazy is like, we're so attached to these external things that define us, and it's bullshit. Because that's what I'm trying to say. Would you rather be happy and whole and a little bit less financially successful than the person that just focuses his entire life on finances and success because he is so empty inside and so depleted that he thinks he needs all of this stuff in order for somebody else to really care and love him? And the same thing for women, right? I think a lot of it is like, yeah, this issue with how you look. Oh, I'm only valued based on how I look. Do you want to be loved for that? And most people would turn around and say no. So why do you view yourself that way? Why are the intentions of your life or the motivations of your life? Guess what? That's what ego is. This is what getting caught up in fear and ego is about. It's you realize that you know that you want to be genuinely loved for who you are, and you want to genuinely love yourself for who you are, but ego comes in and tells you, no, but you need to be prettier. No, but you need more money. No, but you need these things. And guess what? What happens then? You deviate from what is true to you. You put the trumpet down. You put down the things that you feel, right? For me, right? It's like this girl is like, holding me at a distance. I know what I feel. Yes, is it scary for me to honor that? Yeah. And this is what we're trying to build. We're trying to build true self-trust. In order to do that, you got to let go of some of those stories. And that's what I'm saying. For me, like, what I realize now, like when I turn around and I get rejected by a girl or an opportunity or a job, and then my mind instantly goes to, oh, it's because if you were taller, I'm like, shut the fuck up. I don't really say it that harsh, but I just remind myself, no, it's not that you weren't tall enough, is that you feel disappointed you didn't get the opportunity that you wanted. That's what it is. I had a guy on a consultation today. I have a new coachee. And you know what's funny? What he told me on the phone today? He's like, yeah, the reason that I feel so insecure is because I felt like I never got chosen. I'm 6'2", but I was always skinny. And people didn't pick me because of how scrawny I was. And I'm sitting there listening to him on the phone thinking to myself, wow. Everybody has something. We all have things that we blame our shortcomings on. Again, this self-rejection. It's not true. It's not true. I think the real reason he didn't get girls back in the day and the reason I didn't get girls back in the day was less because of the external and way more about the internal. It wasn't because of the way that we looked. It's because we didn't honor the way that we felt. I mean, think about the me and the girl this week. I really have a feeling it's not like she thought I was a 10. I wholeheartedly believe that. I truly believe that the reason that she went on that date is purely because of my energy. She kind of said that to me. But that is the truth about life. That's the truth about self-confidence. That's the truth about self-worth, self-trust. It has nothing to do with the external. You keep thinking that because you are stuck in ego. You keep strategizing because you're stuck in ego. So let go of the bullshit stories. They're bullshit. They're bullshit. And the way to build self-worth and self-trust right now is to eliminate the past, stop projecting the past onto the future, feel what you're feeling right now, honor the way that you feel at all times, and then let the chips fall where they fall. That's the part that you don't control. You don't control the external. But what I have found is that, like, now that I've been doing this, what happens? Oh, wow, I have a date. Oh, wow, I created a video that was based off genuine inspiration. And the reason I even got the video idea in the first place is because I didn't try to sit there and force it and sit at home and try to make shit work. What I did was like, oh, I felt like going to Urban. Go to Urban. What happened? I got a whole relationship and a video. Insane. how the world provides to you when you honor yourself. But a lot of people, we don't trust that, right? Because we're scared. We're scared and we're projecting the past onto the future. Oh, well, last time that I honored myself and I was vulnerable, that girl rejected me, so I can't do that anymore. It's really fucking crazy because that is really the core of it, is that we had been in our lives punished or rejected for our vulnerability. And what we did is we turned around and we blamed it on our own vulnerability. How fucked is that? How many times do you hear that with a girl, right? Or like a guy you're trying to talk to? Oh, I was just too much. Oh, you were too vulnerable? That's why the relationship didn't work out? And what do? You build more walls, you build more strategy, you build more ego. And that's why you're farther than ever from the goal that you want, because you don't even realize your vulnerability is actually your superpower. Your honesty is your superpower. The hard part is breaking through. The hard part is actually owning your truth, which is super fucking hard. Like I said, for instance, let's go back to the example of the little kid in the backyard, right? You're an adult now, and you get this inspiration to jump over that fence in the backyard. Genuinely, if this was me today, swear to God, this is how it would play out. I'd look at that fence and I'd say, I'm scared to jump over that fence, but I'm going to fucking do it. I start running. My mom, don't jump over that fucking fence. You know, I'm going to turn around and say, love you, Ma. As I run and I jump over that fucking fence. Because I'm going to do what I feel. And I'm not attached to the way that you view it. And that's true self-worth. That's true self-love. If you ever want to work with me, you know where to find me.